My Gavanan Melanine, and well met indeed. I am Arachig Aladirthan, head of Divide and Conquer, and welcome back again to the Umbar campaign. As we prepare ourselves to defend Gobel and Calamon against the forces of Harad through Harad, and as we begin to take Gobel Mírlond, screwing ever deeper the knife we have placed in the back of Harad as we push it further and further to their vital organs. Well, no need to dilly-dally. Should we dive straight in? Let's end the turn. Thoroughly enjoyable campaign the Umbar campaign has been thus far, I must confess. Never thought I'd enjoy an evil faction. And then maybe playing as someone other than Dol Amroth is actually a viable way to play this game. Why would you ever want to play as someone other than Dol Amroth, though? Oh, the Ents march on Isengard. What have we got here? Peter Jackson has got an army of our mid-tier. And Harad went right past us. That can only mean he's moving to regroup with more forces. Or Dol Amroth have hit somewhere up here ridiculously hard, and he sees them as a bigger threat than me. Oh, yes, please.
Your orders, my lord.
How may I serve? Yes.
We are making a good amount of money, which is nice to see. Oh, does that mean that that one has a Raiders Guild? Yeah. That one doesn't. Umbar is not gaining any more people, but it only has 2,000. Ah, this explains much. Still waiting on those Candice troops to appear from the murk, from the deep. Otherwise, not much to do there, I'm afraid. Should we end the turn again? Yes, let's. Right, a gentleman called Brady Mers has asked me 10 separate questions related to Dak. Things we could add to the game, perchance. Things we could edit. However, the fact that you are still playing version 0.4 astounds me, to be honest. Is it through fear that 0.5 will break the game? But 0.5 is, well, in my own experience and in the experience of many, 0.5 is by far and away the most stable version we have. And adds a great many features and fixes a great many bugs. But as each turn goes by, Mr. Brady, or Mr. Mers, sorry, I shall answer each of your 10 points individually. I'm sure you all just saw what Dol Amroth sent to Gobel Tolfalas. Let's have a look. Oh no. And they've all got experience. Oh. There is no way we are going to survive that. But we will try, for the glory of our ancestors. Yeah, go on then. I'll take some Southron pikemen. They'll always be useful. Two turns to the Castamirs. 3 turns till we get the surrender of Ubada. Maybe that's where Harad is going, actually. Where's our spy? You're not doing much up there. Head down there and tell me what's going on. Nothing. Head over there and tell me what's going on.
Quietly. I shall continue tomorrow.
Where is our faction leader? There he is. Kusai. Maybe they're not attacking you there because you're there. I don't know. But stay there and keep them off you. Oh, they're going to attack us straight away. Curses! Did we manage to get the pikemen in before they attacked us? That's the question. Yes! Yes! We did indeed! And we get 2 units of armoured defenders. Oh no, they've got 3 units of good units. Let's do this. Let's do this! Come on, men.
We bring the battle to the enemy.
I have great faith in our forces. Great faith. Well, that's a complete lie. The Dol Amroth pikemen outclass our corsairs. I would guess probably one unit of pikemen could take down 2 units of corsairs quite comfortably. And they have 2 units of pikemen, guardsmen, unit of guardsmen, 2 units of coastal wardens and archers. And what have we got? Our basic militia. But at least they're coming in the front door, which is always good to see. But they will certainly be using their pikemen, pushing through the line, and then they're going to try and flank us. Penny to a pound. So we'll get those men on the flanks. And archers. Oh, don't do this to me, archers. Oh, I'm going to have to move you after the game has begun. Don't know what to do with our general. You can stay there and react. That will be your official job role. Please react to developments within the battle. Alright. Oh, this is going to be a slaughter, everyone. This is going to be an absolute slaughter. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? I hate town placement. And it's the only feature that I actively relish when if I ever return. I mean, I've not played them in ages, but if I ever play Rome 2 or Shogun 2, the only feature I thoroughly look forward to is the fact that town battles aren't completely annoying. I thought Shogun 2's castle battles were phenomenally enjoyable, but were ridiculously weighted in favour of the defenders, I always thought. Especially with people being able to fall off the walls as they climbed the fort. Very enjoyable game, Shogun 2, I must admit. Very enjoyable. I didn't play Rome 2 anywhere near as much. I mean, I did the campaign everyone does, play as Sparta and rule the world. And I did indeed manage to play as Sparta and conquer everything on on high. There's high and very high difficulty, isn't there? I think I went high, and which was enjoyable, very enjoyable indeed. But I never played as Rome. I've yet to even play as Rome in their own game. But anyway, enough of this. Let us return to Middle-earth, where our pikes are about to engage the guardsmen. Just to give you a little overview of how completely destroyed we're going to be. Our defense is 4 in total. Our attack is 2, and our charge is 5. However, our foe have a 13 defense, 3 times better than our own, an attack almost 3 times better than our own, and they have a higher morale. Or I don't know if they have a higher morale actually, or but they certainly have a more professional orientated stats in the edu. So let's watch as that goes down. They are flanking as expected, with pikemen on that side. No. And who's coming on this side? More pikemen. Right. Are they all their coastal wardens? Oh yeah. Oh, well, at least our archers are getting some good solid hits on them as they just sit like ducks. Alright, that should nullify... That should minimise, hopefully, some of the pike's advantage, and then the raiders should arrive to hit them in the back. I should mention, I apologise for this horn being an orc symbol, and it should be an evil men symbol. As I have said before, I believe in possibly one of the first videos I ever did, there's been like 4 people look at that bug and ask why is that an orc symbol, when everything in the files is set up to show that as what it should be, which is in this case a Southron symbol. It's a particularly prevalent bug for good factions, as the horn is also used for good factions in many campaigns. But unfortunately, nobody can seem to fix it. So, But it's one of those things that over time you just get used to, and then that's it, really, isn't it? Once you're used to it, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't particularly break immersion because it has no effect on the horn that they use. Like, they don't blow an orc horn or anything like that. Yes, the raiders have hit the back of the pikemen in a staggering line, which is not going to help at all. And victory is still a distinct possibility for them. Why are you dying so quickly? Don't tell me that they are not They're not fighting and they're throwing their javelins. It's ridiculous. But those pikemen want to die. Oh, our captain's gonna die. Oh, everybody, hold on. I've not... I'm sorry, Hummingbird, but I have yet to even look at the captain that Hummingbird created in place of that pirate-looking guy. Ah, there he is! There he is! Does he have the mask? Oh, he's got a heavy helmet. No, he's a normal... He's one of the normal assigned units, I realise now. There! Oh yeah, that does look good. Much better. And he doesn't look like any other unit, which is good. He's gonna die in this battle, but that is a marked improvement over the pirate of Thor. Apologies, Zarathos, if by some miracle you are watching and listening to my videos. The pirate was one that I never really liked that much. This hybrid guy works very well. If I did have one request, it would be to give him the awesome mask that the upgraded Belegar marksmen and Belegar defenders get. As we will see as this campaign goes on, the two slightly more elite Belegar units, as I just said, one is called marksmen and one is called defenders. They have such a cool mask. And I really like it.
The enemy general flees like the coward. We've captured the enemy's general.
Oh, how? Which one was the general?
Teach the cowardly dog to turn tail and run.
Ah, of course they're archers. Right, now you keep up the pressure. To the gentleman who suggested that if you put your archers in defensive mode, they will continue to fire. I want to believe that, but I think really if you tell them to shoot something, they will continue to fire even if like the edge of their line is peppered with melee. However, if you just leave them on fire at will and then don't designate their target, then they'll turn to melee as soon as they're attacked. I tend to always put my archers in defense mode, and I must admit I've never noticed them to continue firing. I haven't noticed that they continue firing when they're under melee attack all that often. And I rarely direct my archers to attack because it's a micromanagement I just can't be doing with. So I often just leave them to fire at will, unless it's a really important that they shoot at something.
They have lost half
For example, in this battle, it was remarkably important to bring down some of those pikemen, although they managed to not do that at all. But I tend not to direct them. So, although our pikemen are holding off the guardsmen quite well. Very well, in fact. And if this line over here can break those pikemen, then we actually have a chance. Heaven smiles upon us today. Although there is no concept of heaven, and heaven certainly doesn't support Umbar, so I don't know. Our Pharazon smiles upon us today. Our Pharazon the Golden. Yes, men! Move, move, move! Support the far eastern line. Raiders, capture them, capture the scum. I say scum, I mean capture those noble lordly warriors. Save them. They are misguided. Oh. I hate it when the game does that. Well, it has bugged massively over there. The pikemen have turned around and are no longer actually fighting. And the coastal wardens I don't know what the coastal wardens are doing, but they're doing something. Has anyone ever seen A Muppet's Christmas Carol? I say this because one of the Dol Amroth lines, as you just heard, There we are. As he says, "Go forth, go forth," and the ghost of Christmas present says, "Is it go forth and know me better, man, or come forth and know me better, man?" And not a Muppet. It doesn't have to be a Muppet's Christmas Carol. I admit I've not read Charles Dickens' original Christmas Carol, so I'm afraid I only know it from a Muppet's Christmas Carol. But he says, "Come forth and know me better, man," and the way they say "go forth" always reminds me of that. Oh, that's so annoying. We'll avoid that battle for a bit. I can't tell you why it does that, I'm afraid. It's just a Med 2 feature. My excuse of late for many features in this game is just the game's old. Deal with it.
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way.
They broke immediately.
Remains as such.
Cowards! Is this a dagger I see before me? Archers, you can stop doing that now. As has been pointed out by so many people, in that Northern Dunedain campaign, apparently friendly fire was to blame. If there is a friendly fire stat at the end of the battle, I'm afraid I missed it. But a good 5 or 6 of you have told me that it was friendly fire, so I should need to keep my eye on who my archers are shooting, evidently. As apparently I'm killing my own men quite a lot. It doesn't matter if the Southrons die. Every single one of them can die. It just, they are dispensable. Alright, where are the raiders? Now, hit them in the rear. Oh, I've sped it up. In case you haven't already. Get your gathered.
The enemy
Yes!
Pursue and run them down.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. They have nowhere to flee. They'll die instantly. Now, to test the theory again, if you exit now, do you get the victory?
Be awed by the victory we have won here today.
We lost 634 men. Almost all of that, though, came from the Southrons. Lost 161 of each. Casualties inflicted. The armoured defenders do take it. So whilst the pikemen held their line remarkably well, they didn't actually take that many men down. And that's probably true of pikemen on the defence. That sort of sums them up. But that was a battle I was not expecting to have to fight. Gobel Tolfalas, or the village of the coastal island, which is what Tolfalas means. Coast island. 1,652, yeah, go on. They accepted it!
Victory in your name, my lord.
Brilliant. Dol Amroth have obviously got a bit of money. Send those vile betrayers back to your homeland. And then let them know that the men of Umbar held back a vastly superior force and sent them running with their tails between their legs. Aglaves is betrothed to Utba. Ramnon's built some communal farming. Alright, developments where they matter. Ah! Oh no, you're Pathan. There's a constant stream coming in from the east. We're gonna have to. We just can't. We need to stop that. Right, how are we gonna do that? We're gonna move to that bridge. So who are we not gonna take? Oh, I'm on the wrong controls. Oh, I forgot that Sauron sent us our ultimatum already. Right, we will leave behind no generals because that's pointless. 9 of you can stay. 55 of you can stay. We want every archer unit we can get. So we're not going to leave you. But we need at least 1 solid unit. Is it training units? 47 of you can stay because you're being retrained. Get on that bridge. Train them, please. Oh, it's building a warlord's hall. Right. What's the next way across the river? Oh, there. So this has done nothing. And what's the way across that river? There and there. Oh, yeah, no, that's not helped at all. Although the other way, it's quite a long walk. Now, if they besiege Goe-Beld and Calamon with this army, we will immediately... Amalgaith. We'll immediately attack him and kill him. Oh, but they can arrive at the same time. So we might have to deal with both of those in one go. They've got people in that fort. Interesting. Tactic I like to employ. We will obviously have to keep this garrison here because apparently Dol Amroth are going to come for us a lot.
Right, fool.
Isn't that the second time we fought them off, or was the first one from Harad? I can't remember. So long ago now, so many victories ago. Who has the time? Oh, the pikemen are ready.
Orders. As you wish.
Move to Goe-Beld and
By
Calamon,
your
please.
command.
You, yes. Oh, we are running out of money. We need to stop training units now. Or we'd need to take Gobel Mírlond, but I'm not going to besiege it because they'll get their armoured defenders and we'll lose.
Yes, my lord.
I'd never see the point of losing units for the sake of capturing a town quicker. I'd much rather run the risk that we get attacked. Also, it's not really a risk because I'm confident in that army's abilities to beat anything that Harad can throw at it this early in the game. So tactically, I'm thinking nothing can beat that army. So there's no point storming Gobel Mírlond because that will just account. You will lose men. There's no way around that, and there's no need to lose the men. And if they form up an army to attack me, I'm confident that I'd win. So I want them to do that. I want them to attack me so that I can clear a large force of Harad in one large battle.
Your orders, my lord.
Especially now we've got Castamir's Rangers. I didn't read that message from Sauron. I can't tell you what it said. Has he excommunicated us? Did anybody see? I'll have to watch the video back and pause it at that point. Oh, that has sent them inland, which is worrying because our money pot is not going to hold off against anyone. Oh, and we're losing money now as well. Brilliant. Brilliant, marvellous. Everyone loves losing money. Don't train you, and we'll take you and you. Join Kusai. We could push east, but that force from up in the north, we don't know where that's gone. We don't know what to... if it's going to be a danger, or...
My lord.
Mírlond seems safe now, so...
Approaching quietly. Tomorrow's journey planned.
Oh, our forces are going to have to... Well, once Mírlond is clear... No, we'll keep them there and just hold Gobel and Calamon on the bridge. And once Mírlond is clear, we'll head north and take Eithel. Which will then bring the war to Dol Amroth to the fore, and will be fought in earnest. They dismounted.
Come and get me.
Why? They'll never beat me now. Idiots.
My lord, we're besieged.
They actually are fighting again. But even if I didn't have the armoured defenders, which this is a prime example of how the AI thinks your army is going to be less than it is, because we can't make them see the garrison. There's no way around that. The game is old. But even if I didn't have the armoured defenders, I still would be able to beat this army. I'm at a loss.
Units, await my orders.
Maybe Prince Adrihil has turned into a bit of a Denethor, and his forces have come back and said, Gobel Tolfalas is overrun. And then he has a go at his generals, and he's like, no, it isn't. Take it back. My acting prowess sometimes just amazes me. Right, I don't think they're going to flank as much this time, and if they do, it's just not a threat. So what we're going to do is put the Southrons on the edge, ready to go and flank, and if not to flank, just to meet the enemy out on the field. I probably won't use them this time at all because there's too few of them to do anything and we'll just lose our general. I don't want flaming arrows, I don't think they're useful. So, start the battle. Same again, you guys straight down the middle. And the archers in a line behind, and then in a line behind as well. No need to make you run, and then you guys flank out. I've got a button here which moves the camera forward fast and a button that moves it slowly, and I keep using the slow button instead of the fast button. Anyway, to war. As we wait for our troops to manoeuvre, I will finally answer your questions, Mr. Mers. Brady Mers, as you are on YouTube. Your first question was, Dale are really passive. They don't attack anyone, they're trapped in. And the answer is yes, they are. Unfortunately, in Divide and Conquer, the increased number of factions mean that certain factions fight off more enemies than they've ever had to face. And this is, in our own game, currently very apparent for Dol Guldur. If Dale Dale aren't set to passive, by the way. I should just clear that up first. They're only passive because they've got nowhere to go. There's no real way around that. But if Dale... We've tried to make it... Well, first of all, I need to definitely say you need 0.52. I can't give you advice on 0.4, mostly because I can't even remember what 0.4 was like. We're talking ages ago, months ago. Tons of modding has been done between 0.4 and now. I can't tell you what the situation 0.4 is even like, so I couldn't tell you what needs to be done to fix it. So first of all, definitely upgrade to 0.52. And then you'll discover in that Dale, Erebor and Thranduil have been... We've played around with the starting conditions and what towns own which and which towns are taken in the Town 1 auto expansion in an attempt to make it so that Dale attack Run with Dorwinion, and together those two hold Run in check, but Run tend to get the upper hand. We're talking if you tested this out over like 10 or so campaigns. Because if you have a campaign where Run destroys Dorwinion, then that's only one campaign. I mean, any evidence you always need many forms of any fact. Sorry, always needs many forms of testing to back it up. But anyway, so we've tried to make it so that Dale, Erebor and Thranduil all do very different things. Because beforehand, maybe in 0.4, but certainly at the beginning for 0.5, Dale and Thranduil would team up together and they would absolutely wipe Dol Guldur off the map. No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to move through because the pikemen this time are dying. So Dol Guldur, so Thranduil and Dale teamed up and just destroyed Dol Guldur every time, and that was unacceptable. And the dwarves of Erebor weren't providing enough support to Dorwinion, so Run were winning every time because Erebor was split between the Misty Mountains and Run. So to counter this, and what we've done to get around that, Dale now joined Dorwinion and they attack Run. The dwarves are now essentially... They sort of border Run a bit, so they do sometimes get involved in the Eastern campaign, but they now focus almost solely on pushing west through the Misty Mountains, which is as they should do. They're meant to defend against Run and attack the Orcs, instead of attack Run and defend against the Orcs. So that's what they do. And Thranduil doesn't really do anything, and that's just some odd side effect from the Elven factions that we've never really been able to get around. And I think it's because their units cost a lot of money. But whatever the reason, Thranduil defends his own lands and sometimes takes the odd town here and there, but never anything particularly major. So Dale are no longer as passive as they were, but they are still reasonably passive. They're not as aggressive, because if they were, then the evil factions, namely Run, Misty and Dol Guldur in the northeast, would all just get destroyed every time. And we're trying to create variety. So that's an answer to your Dale question.
The enemy general lies dead.
We'll have a little zoom in. I really like that coastal warden model. Every single thing that Taroem has done in this mod I like, I'm not going to lie. Who is still fighting? Oh, those archers over there. Very well, if that's how you want to play it. Don't run out the front. If anyone is still fighting in the middle, they're soon not to be. There we are. Oh, they're fanning out.
We're under attack.
Oh, but it matters not because they're dying. And they're using fire arrows still. I wonder if once the AI is set to use fire arrows, if they then can't turn it off. Because in this situation, fire arrows are not useful. These troops are not going to run. They're not heavily armoured, so the flaming bonus isn't doing anything. And it just makes them fire even slower. I'm surprised they haven't run either. There are two of them. They're under constant arrow fire and everyone else has fled.
The enemy army
What were they
awed by
expecting?
the victory we have won here today.
That's it, crippling that time. There's 10 of them left. That's it. That's baffling. Your second question, Mr. Mers, was you'd like slave troops in Mordor. By the sound of it, you wanted them to fight for Mordor if Mordor owned Nirn, and then you wanted them to fight for Gondor or other good factions.
We are
if they claimed Nern and released them. But one, we don't really have we're running out of unit space quite a lot, and Mordor already has a more than filled roster. And while slave troops would be a nice nod to the fact that yes, Nern is the slave capital, I would question how well slave troops would fight, and would you really deploy them? I mean, yes, Mordor would throw slaves into the battle if they'd really lost everything and they were fighting in Nern. They would throw any unit they've got into the battle, but they wouldn't expect them to actually do anything, and they wouldn't send them out of Nern. So I'd be reluctant to add slave troops. His only full battalion is 122 Haradrim spearmen. This is desperation on the part of Harad. But we'll comply and we'll send them all to their graves. Ubada and Pathan join together. Just double checking which one was attacking us. Pathan. So we're going to have Ubada coming in on the left. So no, we won't add slave troops, I'm afraid. Mostly out of a technical standpoint. We don't have very many unit slots left. There is a unit slot cap, 500. We've got something like, I think maybe 12 or 13 left, and I just don't think slave troops would add anything. Plus, we'd have to base them off of pre-existing models. We don't have anyone in the team who could create a model from scratch. So they'd be based off of a unit you already sort of knew, and they'd be so weak. I mean, they would purely be there just so that you could be like, oh yeah, Mordor has all those slaves in Nern, and I just don't think that's enough of a reason to add a unit, I'm afraid. So apologies, my friend. Let's just revel in the joy and beauty of these guys for a second.
Rangers ready. Our arrows whisper.
Just listening to them makes me want to go and play Battle for Middle-earth. Right, we'll line you guys up, and the pikemen. Does anybody? You have stakes. You're running away. No, thank you. Our entire army is hidden, which is nice. Remember that Ubadar's coming in on the left, but he has something like 100 men, so the cavalry of him, he himself is really the only threat there. I don't like the slant that we're on there. Is there a better hill we can fight on? Ah, yes, if he's coming in on the left and they're coming in over there, we'll pull back to here. Whilst I do like ambushes, and I think hide anywhere units are very strong, I much prefer the advantage that a hill can give you. And as you can see from the image, our most of our army, well, 2 of those units can hide anywhere. The Rangers can hide anywhere, and the Corsairs, and then those 2 can hide so well in forest that slight shrub is concealing them. Oh, I do enjoy game mechanics. We've got a lot of like aggressive style units. So if we sort of make a box, and we'll try and flank them. I'll move you to the other flank on that side. And I don't know what to do with the pikemen. If we actually hold the pikemen, well, Ubadar's going to come this way. So if we put the pikemen there, try and counter his charge. And then you 2 can stay in reserve. It's not many of you anyway. And same for the cavalry. Right, let's start.
The enemy have brought up more men.
So what's Guan in here? They're coming straight at us, and Ubadar will certainly move up and meet with them, so I'll speed it up a bit for now. And they are literally coming straight at us, so we need to turn and face. Well, it depends actually. Let's keep it sped up for a bit and just see if they do just charge, or if they... Yes, they are. Right. Alrighty then. Form up in a line. Don't group up just yet. You lot. I really hate saying but when you're not thinking about it, just comes out all the time. I check in my own mind every single time I say it. I was quite good at public speaking at school. I was a house captain in my school house, and I never had difficulty doing school assemblies or anything like that. It never bothered me. And so now whenever I talk to a largish audience such as this, I always check in my head every time I say like every time I say something in my head just shouts at me like because that is quite a good way to get around it, actually. Just jar yourself every time you say it. Anyway, apologies for me describing the ways of getting around They'll be coming out of the gloom soon. But where from? This pikeman is so out on a limb. Oh, Uberdar's taking his time, isn't he? Jeez. Mr. Mers, your third question, more forts. I mean, we could drop more forts in, but there aren't really any forts in Middle-earth. Anywhere that's defensible or built up or has any kind of defense tends to be a town or a castle. So forts don't really fit with Med 2, with Third Age, which is why they've already been taken. You may recall in Medieval 2 you can build your own forts, but that is no longer the case. They're now set, and they have to be built at the beginning of the game in the files. And that is mostly for that reason. There just aren't really that many forts in Middle-earth. Almost anywhere that is defended is a town or is a castle or is a really key strategic choke point. So they don't really fit that well. But I do really like forts. But I think the fact that they are so sparse increases their value. Because obviously in a fort you get 4 free upkeep units. So tactically they're quite a useful resource. We could look to add more forts, but I don't know. We might stick a few forts dotted around in Gondor, for example, as they would probably have defensive points on hills and things like that. So we can look into that, but it's not a priority, I'm afraid. Speed it up. Oh, camel riders. Oh, Muhad, man. Muhad Beastmasters. Bring them down. There's only 7 left there. There's 23. Oh, they're camel archers. No worries. These guys need to die. How are they avoiding? How are they not dying? That's right. There's only 3 of them now. You can stop shooting them now. That's fine by me. Alright, Serpent bodyguards moving around to flank. We're going to lose men in that, so we'll try and prepare for it. No, they stopped. Damn them! Feign retreat, feign retreat, feign retreat. See if it draws them. Why? The enemy always does this. I just don't get it. Oh, they are. Are they actually going to just charge the pikemen? They are. What? What? They just did exactly what I wanted them to do. Try and at least counter the charge a bit. Oh, no, it didn't work at all. The pikemen will, whilst they are pikemen, yes, they're also very, very weak, poor pikemen. So they're not going to do tons of damage, but I'd rather kill the corsairs than the units in this line. Archers, you can fire at whoever you want. Catch them, catch them. Ah, look at them escaping down the middle. Hit those tribesmen. The only real threat are these guys. Losses down here will be acceptable if the Serpent Guard fall as well. Whilst losses, of course, are never really acceptable, there are key targets on a battlefield that need to fall as they present a great risk. The needs of the few. Star Trek adage, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Which basically means, give yourselves up, die, men! Die to save your fellow brothers.
Like this, we will smash the enemy.
The troll men are going to slaughter them. Try and flank. What's happening now? Oh, at least they're coming under arrow fire.
Only half the enemy force
They
remains.
still haven't even shown themselves. The unit is right there.
We wait for battle.
Well, they stood up at a good moment. I must admit that the aesthetical change of giving them all more dark grey metal colours instead of the green colour that you can see on their pictures is a welcome change. They have a more sinister sort of... I think they have a more sinister tone to them with a dark grey. Are you attacking anyone? Yes, you are. You're chasing those archers. Right, well, don't chase those archers because you'll be running over the whole map, so... Kill as many of them as you can. Who did they hit? Oh, just the Belagar footmen. Although we did lose quite a few. If we try and pull everyone back, then our archers can again fire on stray enemy units. What's happening down here with the trollmen? Oh, they've been beaten. Did they flee? You guys pull up there. Where did that second unit of Serpent Guard go? Oh, there. Trying to protect those Serpent Guard. Interesting of note about Harad is that their general at the Battle of the Pelennor Fields is just called the Serpent. Or possibly the Black Serpent or the Red Serpent. He's never given a name. And from that one single name, one single word, Serpent, almost the entire faction of Harad have been built in Third Age Total War. Which is fair enough, because if that's all we know about them, that's all we've got to go on. And that's their banner is also a serpent, which is why their banner is a serpent. But mostly, of course, Harad is just taken from their geographical location. With, I'm sure as many of you know, the Middle-earth intending to be a precursor to our own history. Well, we're not 100% intending, but Tolkien certainly alludes to that. I'm pretty sure he outright says it, but I don't want to stake that too much because I can't recall. But with it being, as I say, a precursor to our own times and our own geography, then Harad is quite clearly turns itself into Africa. Which is why, as I say, Harad are based essentially on Bedouin and tribal raiders.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
Ah, one of them has died. Which one? Ah, Pathan.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Are you guys fighting anything? No. Pull up. Oh, I totally forgot we even had cavalry. Ah, well. That will help deal with those over there. And those last few Serpent Guard down there. You guys as well. Just run behind the archers. Give the archers a clean line. And up here, how goes it up here? Oh, they've surrounded them, but they've still yet to kill them. Good lord, those Haradrim units are fighting to the death.
The enemy army flees the field. Pursue and run them down.
We need to kill those Serpent bodyguards at all costs. Oh, probably killed some of our own men again there. Mr. Mers, your fourth question was, please do the Variag script. Or please make the Variags more interesting. And yes, we intend to. Just time and resource dependent. Yes, we captured the other general. Is there anyone worth chasing? Yeah, go on, chase them down. Everybody else, slowly march up to form a large line.
Of Harad.
That was very clean. Got them all very quickly. 3 Muhad tribesmen, they'll fall as well. Or is it 2? Oh, there's only 2. And they're down as well. None can stand before the might of the true sons of Númenor. Although, in the Third Age, at this time, there is probably... If there is any trace of Númenorian blood in the men of Umbar, it is almost the same watered-down amount as the old adage that almost everyone in Europe can potentially trace their lineage to Charlemagne due to how long ago he lived. I would imagine it's that sort of thing. You are like barely any blood linked to Númenorians. 98 from Castamir's Rangers, already proving themselves as very useful on the battlefield. Because the Númenor, there shouldn't really be any Númenorians left. Umbar is essentially a Haradrim city, but because it's on the coast, that's why they're Corsairs. Basically, if Umbar wasn't on the coast and they'd built it further inland, then they'd be something else. I don't need the money now, so sorry, Ubadar, but you are of no use to me alive.
And honor have conquered.
No, thank you. Oh, yes, please. Oh, and we've got the money as well. Superb. Superb.
Ships ready.
Admiral Kelafan probably beat me. Oh, no. Wow, Corsair ships really are good.
We are victorious.
Can we hunt him down? Can we find him?
Full sails.
No. He's gone.
Yes, sir. Full sails.
Oh, I'm on the wrong control again. Oh, goodness gracious. This one has gone on much longer than I intended. Although not necessarily, because I hadn't done videos in a long time, so I was quite pleased actually when I saw that these 3 were a lot longer than normal.
We can go no further today.
Well, I say these 3 because this one is now coming to an end. I will end it on this turn. So I've given you 3 slightly longer videos than usual just to make up for the gap. Obviously, I didn't do a video yesterday. I was busy, but I do hope to continue the Northern Dunedain campaign in either this afternoon or tomorrow as well. So keep staying tuned for as each of the campaigns now are really hotting up. Dorwinion, we're driving into the heart of Run. We're attacked on all sides there. Obviously, the Northern Dunedain is hotting up as we are now at war with everyone around us who is an enemy. So that's getting interesting. And as Umbar, as we can see, we are about to face the true might of Dol Amroth as we now border them via a land connection.
Orders, my lord.
Oh, look, there they are already.
Keep vigil over the lands. This tower will keep vigil over the lands.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, wow, I can train loads already. Oh, of course, we and Harad share the same culture. Oh, I'm going to miss that. I am going to miss that, because as soon as we reach Dol Amroth on Gondor, we're going to lose the ability to train troops immediately as we arrive. Slave camp, first port of call always, and I'd like some roads, actually. Well, retrain what you can. I'm sure that's just retraining them as in there's a higher barracks level here. Low tax rate, grow, grow, grow. They're going to be attacked. There's no way around that. I shouldn't have moved them, really.
I will not waste words on you.
Oh, dear. My key's stuck. We're moving left indefinitely. As they are on there. Where do we think they're going? Let's try and guess their movement. They can make it to Ramlond in one turn, but obviously they'd risk a force from Mírlond moving down. It's likely they're probably heading for An Carigmere, but more troops are always welcome, so more troops we shall get. But for now, that will conclude this episode. So, as usual, thank you very much for watching indeed. My subscriber count still rises and rises, and it amazes me to this day. So, I thank you all very much indeed. As I say, stay tuned for the other videos. Mr. Mers, stay tuned for the remaining 6 questions that you have asked. And feel free, everybody, to ask as many questions as you wish on YouTube, as I will now answer them in this method during the end turns and things like that. So if you're watching the videos and you're asking a question, you'll likely get your question answered on here, unless it's something that is really specific to yourself. If it's a general question about the game, I'll answer it in the video so everybody can get the benefit of the answer. Other than that, that's about it for today. So thank you very much, as I say, dear friends, and until we speak again, Navar Naden Pedimad Melonin, and farewell.